to the district, so it isn't just because of this incident. Every year we review our security protocols and we move forward. Our district has won the Utica National Titanium Plus Honors Safety Award for the last 5 years, and it's Titanium Plus Honors in part because we are on a 3-year cycle of reviewing our security plans in the first year. The second year we actually practice with the staff a mock evacuation in addition to doing fire drills and lockdown drills, and then the third year we do a full evacuation from campus in the event of a disaster, natural disaster or other incident. So I think we've been recognized as a district not just doing something because of an incident, but every year we update and revise.
And last year we did a full scenario with all the employees of the school district, from the support staff to the administrators to the teachers. We went through and had an active shooter physically go into the school. It was taped, we reviewed it, and everybody in the school district was trained at that time. And what parents should really take away from this is that the system that we have up there in place through the school district, the SROs, and everybody else that works there works. I mean, this is the type of thing that you know it works because we were able to interrupt it before it really got any legs. I mean, this type of thing is, the only way to prevent it is to interrupt it in the planning stages, and that's what we did. This school district really has a model for what other districts in the state should follow, with the SROs, with the training of the employees, with the physical security that they've implemented, with what the support that the police officers get from Dr. Tyson, the school board, as well as the parents and the students. I mean, that's really a model for other school districts in the state.
Is this the first time you had to use this training in the district?
We've had the SROs, talk to students before. Usually the students come forward to the SROs. Part of it is having them in the building each and every day. The students develop a comfort level with them, so they feel that they're able to come up and speak with the SROs. In fact, a couple of years ago, one of our SROs was the graduation speaker for the class of 2012, Sergeant Smith. So our students feel very comfortable with the SROs. As far as the incident, this is the first of the kind we've had to deal with, and I'm very proud with how the school administration and the SROs, the Onondaga County Sheriff's Department, as well as the village police, it's been a collaborative effort from the start.
Were these students in school today?
I can't go into that detail, and you understand why. Good question.
The answer to your question as well, a follow-up to the, have we had to use it before? Last year, one of the SROs observed 3 individuals trying to get into the school. What they were actually doing was a surveillance on the school. They had previously surveilled 2 other schools, were able to get into those 2 other schools, and they weren't recognized until they got here. And it was because the SRO at that school knows all the students. When they went walking into the school, he asked them what they were doing there. They said they were previous schools or students of the district, and he asked them, well, do you know who I am? And they didn't know. Everybody that goes to those schools up there, they all know the SROs by name, and that's how they were able to determine that these individuals didn't belong there. They were eventually arrested by another jurisdiction after we gave them the information. So that's just another example of how the system that the school district and the SROs and the police department have implemented up at that campus works.
But to answer your question, we practice every year, and we hope we never have to use any of our drills.
Will those relatives be able to get their weapons back?
That's going to be up to the court to determine whether they should get their weapons back or not. Once we take firearms out of a residence, it's really up to a judge to review it and to determine whether they should go back or not.
Were they registered?
I don't have that information up. The Sheriff's Department was the one who actually went out with our officers, and they confiscated the weapon, so I couldn't give you that information right now.
One of the things you keep talking about, and you keep going back to it, is we interrupted it before it got legs, and you said there was no plan or anything like that.
I didn't say there was no plan.
Okay. Was there a plan?
I think there was enough of a plan that caused us concern, and the type of planning that was being discussed was weapons and going into the school and shootings. That's enough planning for us to get involved in it. And then when we interviewed the students, there was an indication that if they had the opportunity, that they might have went through with it.
From both students?
No.
So one student said if they had
Correct.
the opportunity.
That's right.
So if you can't talk about whether they've been arrested or charged, or if they're going to be charged, what reassurance can you give parents that this isn't going to happen with these particular kids aren't going to maybe fulfill their thoughts?
Well, when we sent the letter out, we certainly wanted to summarize the incident of this week and what happened. Everybody wants the information as soon as possible, and we respect that. And we certainly want to give accurate information in a timely fashion without keep updating as the investigation continues, because it was an active law enforcement investigation. But this letter that was sent home just summarizes the past incident. I mean, it's the vigilance of the employees and the staff and the administrators, the fact that we practice our plans going forward. There are no guarantees in life. All we can assure the community is that we're vigilant and continuing to do a good job. It's just that this summarizes. This isn't a coupon that somehow means nothing bad will ever happen in the future. It's just provides information going forward.
You said that the investigation is still ongoing and no charges have been brought. If charges were to be brought, would they be brought as an adult court, or would that
No,
be
they're
juvenile
juveniles.
court?
They're both the individuals are under 16. In New York State, juveniles are anyone under the age of 16. So it would be in, it wouldn't be in criminal court. It'd be in family court.
Do you have any idea when that decision will be made about whether charges will be filed?
As of today, we're still interviewing people, so we'll interview people as long as we need to find out if there's any additional information. Once we talk to everybody we need to talk to, then we'll determine if and what type of charges should be brought.
Do you believe that there may be more people that might be involved in this?
No, we're pretty confident that the two individuals that we interviewed were the only individuals involved in it. Now, there are other witnesses that overheard different things, and we're still interviewing them. But as far as the people involved, there were only two juveniles involved in the actual talking about the planning and going into the school.
And the letter gives a chronology of how the events transpired. And one of the pieces there, and it's important not to forget, is in talking to the staff. We wanted to inform the staff so that they remain vigilant and aware of the situation. And then, as you could tell, we released it to the general public and to the media to bring them up to speed. So we certainly want to keep the staff informed, so we remain vigilant going forward.
The people, the kids who overheard the conversation, maybe can you give us an idea of what these children are like? Are they disaffected? Are they in a gang? Are they, loners? Typical kids? What are they
Typical,
like?
you wouldn't be able to pick them out of a crowd. I mean, no, they're not involved in a gang. They're just typical teenagers. In fact, the SROs, when they interviewed both individuals, they seemed like very nice kids. They just have some issues that they were having a hard time dealing with, and this was how they were going to deal with the situation, at least one of them.
You're talking about the student who came forward, correct?
No,
No,
I'm talking about the
Suspect.
Suspects?
suspect.
Okay.
Anything else?
Anything else you have to tell us?
I think that summarizes everything, because the main thing with this, out of this whole incident, it was interrupted early on. There were some planning going on, but we interrupted it early enough where we're confident that we took care of it quickly and appropriately. And it's resolved to our satisfaction. I mean, we're still going to interview people because we want to make sure that we have all the information. But as far as the safety of the students at the school, we're confident that, at least with this incident, that we're all set with that.
Was the planning to the stage yet when they knew when they might do this?
I don't believe that they went that far yet.
And I think the last piece I'd like to add is a big thank you to everybody who helped out, from Chief Wicks to the SROs, to the Onondaga County Sheriff's Department, and my own administration for working collaboratively on this. I just think it shows all the planning and training that we've done has come to fruition, and I think the message to the general public should be applauding the one individual who did come forward and encouraging others that there are some teeth behind the DASA legislation, that bystanders should not stand by and just watch something bad happen, that they should be able to come forward and disclose to an adult, an administrator, a teacher, the SROs that are in the building, to help prevent problems rather than dealing with the aftermath of a tragedy. So I applaud this individual, and I hope that we've kept the confidence of that individual and encourage others to come forward, because this is important to making sure everybody's safe.
How will the public know if charges are brought or dropped, or what the outcome of this will be?
We're not going to release that information because they're juveniles. All they need to know is we're looking into it, and we're not going to. If there's charges to be brought, we're going to bring them. If not, then they'll be dealt with administratively through the school.
But I mean, will the public be informed if you do bring charges?
Probably not. They're juveniles. It's dealt in family court, and if you know anything about family court, it's especially with someone like these kids, we want to rehabilitate them. So we don't want to prolong things any farther than they need to be prolonged. So in any instance like this, we want to make sure that these kids get some help and get rehabilitated. They're not beyond the point where they can be rehabilitated. If they have problems, they need to be dealt with. So that's what we're looking to do with them.
Understanding you can't give out their personal information, but the kids in the school all know who these suspects are. In the rehabilitation question, and I'm thinking from the kids' perspective, if there's an opportunity that they may be back in the district, I can see where that would terrify some of these kids. You know, they know what was thought, what was discussed. I don't know what the answer is there. Like I said, I know you can't say a lot of this stuff, but that's just perspective from a parent who has kids in that school.
Understood.
And I don't. There's no
can't
answer
go
to
in.
that.
There's no
It's
answer.
a thought that I think time will tell.
Yep.
I know you said you couldn't tell, but in situations like this, and I'm not talking specifically about these individuals, but in a situation like this, would a child, a suspect, be removed from the school?
We dealt with it appropriately. That's what was put in the letter, and
No, I meant in situations like this, and in general, would it be normal for a kid to be returned to the school?
you can find that on the district code of conduct in terms of what the expectations are for being a student, as well as the possible penalties are all listed in the student code of conduct. But I can't elaborate on what happened to these individuals.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
The town supervisor here.